Welcome to Ask and Learn.
Okay, so this question, we want to find a solution to this recurrence relation. So the characteristic equation, we let a sub n be equal to r to the 3. So then you have r3 is equal to 2a or r squared plus by r minus by 2. Then moving everything to the left side, you have r cubed minus by 2r squared minus by r plus 2 is equal to 0. So now we want to factorize this, or we could just simply try to find roots to this. So because this is a cubic, well, there's no general way to factorize this. What you have to do is you have to substitute values for this function. R cubed minus by 2r squared minus r plus 2. So you just substitute random numbers for r into this equation until you get 0, and then you can simplify from that. So if you do that, what you'll find out is f of 1 minus by 2 minus by 1 plus by 2. So that's equal to 0. You also find that f of minus 1, so minus 1 cubed is minus 1, minus by 2 times by minus 1 squared, so that's just be minus 2. Negative minus 1, so that's plus 1, and then plus 2, so that's also equal to 0. And finally, you'll also find out that f of 2 is also 0. I'll just let you do the calculations. So this, you just have to guess and check for these numbers. But you'll find that these three are your roots. So then this thing right here can be factorized into r minus 1, r plus by 1, and r minus by 2 is equal to 0. So then your roots are r is equal to 1 minus 1 and 2. So your general equation, your characteristic equation, is then a sub n is equal to c sub 1, oops, this is 2. Let's say 2 to the n plus by c sub 2 minus 1 to the n plus by c sub 3, 1 to the n. Now 1 to the n is just 1. So this is c sub 1 to the n plus by c sub 2 minus 1 to the n plus by c sub 3. Now we have, using the initial conditions, a sub 0 is equal to 3. Substituting n equals to 0 into this equation, you have 3 is going to be equal to c sub 1 plus by c sub 2 plus by c sub 3. And then you have a sub 1 is equal to 6. So 2 to the 1 gives you 2. So 2 c sub 1 minus 1 to the 1 gives you minus 1. So minus c sub 2 plus by c sub 3. And finally, we have a sub 2 is equal to 2 squared, or a sub 2 is equal to 0, sorry. And 2 squared gives you 4, so 4c sub 1 minus 1 squared gives you 1, so that's plus c sub 2 plus c sub 3. Okay, now let's just write these out better. So you have 3 is equal to a sub 1 plus by a sub 2 plus by a sub 3. 6 is equal to 2a sub 1 minus by a sub 2 plus by a sub 3. And 0 is equal to 4a sub 1 plus by a sub 2 plus by a sub 3. Now we subtract, let's subtract these, let's subtract the first one and the third one. So we have 0 minus 3 gives you minus 3 is equal to 4 minus 1 gives you 3. So that's just 3a sub 1. A sub 2 minus a sub 2 gives you 0. So that's 0. And a sub 3 minus a sub 3 gives you 0. So this implies that a sub 1 is equal to minus 1. Now let's substitute it back into, I suppose, these two equations. So we have 3 is equal to minus 1 plus by a sub 2 plus by a sub 3. And we have 6 is equal to minus 2 minus a sub 2 plus by a sub 3. And let's plus these two equations together so we can cancel this out. So 6 plus 3 gives you 9. Minus 2 minus 1 gives you minus 3. A sub 2 minus A sub 2 minus A sub 2 gives you 0. And we have plus by 2 A sub 3. Now moving 3 over to the other side, we have 2A sub 3 is equal to 9 plus 3, so that's 12. A sub 3 gives you 6. And let's substitute A sub 3 into this equation. So then you have 3 plus 1, moving the 1 to the other side. A sub 2 plus by 6. So then 4 is equal to A sub 2 plus by 6, which means that A sub 2 is equal to minus 1. So what does this mean? Our general equation, oh sorry, this is not A, this should be constants. This should all be C's, not A, but you get the point. So A sub 1 is then C sub 1, which is minus 1, so minus 1 times by 2 to the n, because we're using this equation again. And then which is then followed by minus 2 times by minus 1 to the n. Oh, this is minus 2. Yeah, this is minus 2. Times by 1 to the n plus by 6, which you get from here. Minus 2 times by this. Yeah,